we're a little sideways here. This is what we want to do. We're starting off a little. We're stumbling out of the gate a little bit. We got Chief Deputy Ben Houchin here with me. It's Wednesday. That means it's Crime Stoppers Day. It's the last Wednesday of the month, so that means we have Lancaster County Sheriff's Office in the building. So appreciate everyone tuning in and for watching. And despite a little bit of a stumble out of the gate there, that was a computer issue. I would just like to point out.
We'll finish strong.
Sometimes you can blame me because I pushed the wrong button, but I pushed the right button, and it just didn't like it.
The gremlins in the computer.
The gremlins are in the computer. They tend to be. So, again, appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. Again, Wednesday is Crime Stoppers Day, and when we have Lancaster County Sheriff's Office in the building, we're talking Lancaster Lookout. So we're talking about someone that we're looking for. We know they did the crime or did whatever, but we're looking for them. Before we dive into that, though, we kind of want to celebrate a win because I believe it was last month when you talked with Danielle, and I correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've had Mr. Rasmussen on maybe a couple times.
Well, I know we had him on back in August.
And
we got a Crime Stoppers tip that came in just the other day that led to his arrest. So
there we go.
Yeah, so between this program and Crime Stoppers and all that, it is working and helping us out. So I'm glad to have that because we really didn't have a whole lot of information on him, and the Crime Stopper tip warmed the case up, and we got him arrested.
There we go. That is what we like to hear. Again, like you just said, that's what this whole program is about, this and Crime Stoppers and all the rest of it. So that's really glad to hear. It's always good to hear that, some of the faces that come across the desk, you guys are able to find them and either arrest them. They have their day in court.
Yeah, and it's good that we're out here and you guys allow us to do that, and that it is helping the citizens of Lincoln, Lancaster County, and keeping them safe.
Mm-hmm. And so that's our good news. So we want to talk about our new individual that we're looking for today. And so can you kind of walk us through this gentleman right here, a Jason Allen Bates?
Yeah, he was arrested or convicted in 2016 for sexual assault of a child. He did do a stint in the corrections, and then he got out, and he is a level 25 a year sex offender, which means every 4 months he has to come into whatever sheriff's office he's living in and register. Well, he has failed to do that since November 23rd of 2023. We know he has quit his job. And where he was last registered, he is no longer living, and he has not registered anywhere else. And so on August 28th of this year, an arrest warrant was issued for him, and we are asking the citizens of Lincoln and Lancaster County to help us out. He is a Hispanic male, 43 years old, 5'8", 300 pounds. And the last we knew that he was driving a black 1998 Ford Mustang Y-Young IB 583.
And so, it's not that, he can't, say move from one county to the other.
Correct.
It's just that when he does,
he has 3 days to register at that, and he has when they change their job, when they change vehicles and things like that, they have to come in to the local sheriff's office and register that information.
And
and he's required to come in on those other days, and he just has not done that. So,
and I'm assuming it's something where he was, and then he stopped doing it. So it's not like maybe he didn't know he was supposed to come in, and then he was doing it, made a conscious decision to not do it,
right,
and now hasn't done it now multiple times. I think it's almost a year that he last checked in.
Correct. And when they are sentenced, they are informed of what they need to do too. So, and when they leave the Nebraska Corrections, they are informed again of what they need to do. And you're correct. He had been doing it. So it's not like this is out of the blue and he had no idea that he needed to do this.
And so this is another one of those instances where, again, he's been in trouble. He was convicted. He did a stint. And now he's just making his life that much more difficult by just not following the kind of rules that were laid out. And so now he's looking at additional charges, I'm assuming?
Yeah, and another felony charge on him. And as you can imagine, the courts, law enforcement, the judicial system takes this violation very seriously. And then No, the crime he did, a first-degree sexual assault of a child, is another pretty major crime.
Yeah. So that's something we definitely want to know where Mr. Bates is. Again, there's a reason why he's supposed to check in every couple months. So you want to know what he's doing, what he's up to.
Correct, and it protects the citizens because this information out there is public, so that they can know. And I do know people check the sex offender registration in their neighborhood just so that they can keep their kids safe.
And so, if someone potentially knows anything about Mr. Bates' whereabouts, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you guys?
Well, of course, they can always call the sheriff's office at 402-441-6500 or dispatch, which is 402-441-6000. And Crime Stoppers, if they want to stay anonymous, and that's 402-475-3600.
So plenty of different ways to get in touch with you guys. Again, everything you just said, plus all the information there on the screen. Again, the Lancaster Lookout webpage is also a great place. Again, you can see some of the other individuals who are wanted for different things on that page. But we also wanted to talk about Deputy Houchin. There was something that happened, and I am just now finding out about this. I did not necessarily know about this, but we had an incident. Was it last week?
It was on the 18th. Of October, about 11 o'clock at night in the area of South 98th and Pioneers. Now, this is a home security camera that caught this footage. We are working it as an arson.
Ooh.
Yeah, as you can see, that's a pretty big explosion, and it did not cause any damage to any property structure. Nobody was hurt. It did burn the ditches, and Southeast Volunteer Fire Department had to come out and put it out. But we did find that there was some evidence that this was a homemade explosive. I'm guessing maybe some of the people who are responsible for doing this may have bragged to some folks, and I sure would love to hear from them, because right at this point in time, we do not have any suspects. I'm also very good. One, it was really dry, and the wind wasn't gusting, so it didn't spread, and the fire department was able to get it under control. But that could have turned out really bad. 98th and Pioneer is not extremely far from the city limits, where there's a ton of structures, as we all know. So also, somebody driving around and having these items in their car is probably, let's just say, not the most intelligent thing you could be doing.
Not a great idea. And again, you're right. It has been so dry. And really, all it could take is a cigarette butt, let alone something like this. And then you could be talking about, and again, a lot of times grass fires might be small and easy to contain, but really quickly they can get out of hand, especially with some of the windy days that we've seen over the past couple weeks. Thankfully, again, looking out the window now, it's raining, and those conditions are a little bit better. But, you give it another week or two, and it might be dry again.
Yeah, I was kind of forgot what that was out there. It's been so long. And so, yeah, it's good to see that we are getting some moisture. And most of the farmers, a lot of them have a bunch of their crops out, and I'm sure they're thankful to at least get a base so for next spring that they can have some water.
And so, okay, so this was 98th and Pioneers-ish?
Yep, right at the intersection there.
Okay, right at the intersection, 98th and Pioneers. So, again, if you know anything, again, if someone's been bragging to you about, hey, look at this that I made, or like, hey, maybe we could go out, I got some whatever they are, so we can cause some big explosions.
Or just walking by at the right time and overhearing a conversation. And we don't know who did it. We certainly would like to find out who it is and educate them on why this is probably not the best thing to be doing.
And so would this person, again, you mentioned it earlier, but there wasn't necessarily any damage, there wasn't anyone hurt. Would this person be, you guys are looking to just be like, hey, please don't do this, or?
There'd probably be some arson charges
Okay.
on that, because that's an intentional fire being started. Again, luckily, there was no structures, nobody was injured or anything of that. But again, we can't have people going out and doing this. So it's a little bit more than a stern talking to issue.
It's a stern talking to with some ramifications also involved. So again, Deputy Houchin already mentioned some of the ways that you can get in touch with them. But again, just to put this screen back up again, 402-441-7350 or email LSO fugitive at, well, that's probably for the for our Mr. Bates, probably that.
Right, but you
that
know what?
number.
If they want to give that information over there, we'll certainly be more than happy to take it.
Yeah, they'll pass the information on. So again, probably the non-emergency dispatch line would be a good way. Again, through LancasterLookout.com, or you can download that P3 app for Lincoln Lancaster County Crime Stoppers, and you can leave some tips there. So again, like I said, plenty of different ways to get in touch with you guys. So. Anything else going on? Anything you want to throw out there before Halloween tomorrow night?
Well, let's just make sure all the deputies who are out there working have a dull day, and the kids have a great day. It sounds like it'll be a good night for trick or treating.
It should be.
But again, as cars are parked and doing that, just make sure teaching your kids not to be running in between cars.
Mm-hmm.
Use the crosswalks. Everybody in the neighborhoods, it's not going to be a big secret that there's going to be little goblins and all those things running around. So let's just make sure it's safe and everybody has a great time and enjoys the evening and gets home safe and make sure they share the candy with mom and dad.
That's right. There will be a mom and dad tax. That absolutely will absolutely happen. So, all right. Well, Deputy Houchin, thank you so much. Again, we kind of stumbled out of the gate there, but I think we finished strong.
Oh, I do too. And again, big football game coming up again, and hopefully they can feed off. I'm not always so big on moral victories, but they played pretty well last weekend.
They did. I mean, again, especially, it's all relative considering where they were against Indiana to what they did against Ohio State. Hopefully you can get that bowl berth, sewn up this weekend.
That would be a good one.
It would be. All right. Well, Deputy Houchin, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching as always. Again, sorry about the computer troubles there at the very beginning, but keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all of your latest news, weather, and sports. Until next time, hope everyone has a nice Wednesday.